everyone. Thank you for joining HashiCorp Talks 2024. Today, I'm going to talk about a bit about Terraform Test Framework. So, do you have any Terraform modules, especially Terraform modules for open source? So, yeah, in this talk, we will try to understand why we need Terraform Test Framework, and yeah, for increasing the confidence and also the trust of our open source Terraform modules. Okay, so first thing first, my name is Bervianto Pratama. You can call me Leo or Bervi. I'm a software engineer, and also you can find me in Twitter at Bervianto Leo, or you can find me in LinkedIn, Bervianto Leo Pratama. So what is Terraform modules? We need to understand first about Terraform modules. Okay, Terraform modules itself, usually we can say is a way to package many Terraform resources to be one module or one package. So as we can see here, in one package or one module, we have multiple resources that usually will depend each other. In one module, usually have some collection for Terraform files or Terraform.json files. And what is the purpose we use Terraform modules? Of course, we need to increase the reuse of resource configurations. Yeah, for example, if you have a team, that use Amazon Elastic Container Services or another resources for the application, but another team will need that resource, and then I believe you will not try to copy paste the configuration and you use the configuration yeah, for the team. You will need one module as a standard of your organization, and then you will reuse the modules for the another team. That's why we need the Terraform modules, so we can pack into one package or one module, so your resources do not need to copy paste at the same time, and you just need to import or just define the Terraform modules that you will need, and then yeah, you simply to configure the Terraform modules, some values that the Terraform modules needs. Anyway, if you want to learn about Terraform modules, you can visit these two links. I will bring you to the website a little bit. So in here, you can learn more about the Terraform modules, what the kind of any Terraform modules. So the Terraform modules have module and chart modules. I will explain a little bit after this one. And maybe you want to hands-on and testing, or maybe just explore more about the Terraform modules. So you can use this page to learn more about the Terraform modules. Previously, I mentioned a little bit about root module and also child module, but what is it? Well, the root module itself is the main configuration. So the Terraform will start to provision based on the Terraform module, the root module, I mean. So you can configure the resources in root module, but in one root module itself, you can have the another modules. So you can import or just you can use another modules to include in your root modules. Usually you can say about that as a child modules. So I think the another one is the publish modules. What is the difference with chat modules? Chat modules usually in the same directory. So if, for example, you have main.tf or main.terraform file, and then you have the another directory, for example, application or another things. So the module itself with name applications and use the directory, their configurations to be included in root modules. But if you use the publish modules, usually it will be available in registry. So you can find in registry, and then you can use it. Well, usually the publish module itself available in registry, but it depends on the permission. I mean, if it's public, you can use it. But if you have the private, you cannot use it directly, but you need some configuration. For example, you need some secrets and something. Okay, but the question is, should we test the Terraform module? Well, the short answer is yes. I would say it's recommended. Yeah. For example, you have a software. I believe you will more confident if you test the software, and also you can use some method to test the software. For example, you can use unit tests, integration tests, end-to-end tests, etc. Yeah, but you also can use manual tests, but I don't think you will need that in Terraform modules. In this session, we will talk about unit tests and also integration tests, especially when you use the Terraform Test Framework. Okay, I will talk about what is the Terraform Test Framework before we go further. Terraform Test Framework itself, some framework or a framework that we use to validate or test our Terraform configuration. So we will try to check the state of the resources or check the configuration. Well, why we need that? Because we need to reduce any risk when we try to change the module or need to try to change the resources. Yeah, I will give you an example. Yeah, when you try to change a configuration or a resources, but you accidentally change any value of that configuration, and if you try to plan but you notice that the configuration is wrong, and it makes the resource or the infrastructure breaks. So I think why we need the Terraform Test Framework or why we need to test the Terraform modules before we publish or provision it. Yeah, because we need to avoid that the breaking changes or some changes that maybe will make any mistakes or any problems. Anyway, if you want to learn more about Terraform Test Framework, you can visit this link, but I will give you a little bit about the page after this one. So our strategy is we will try to use unit tests and also integration tests. Basically, if you want to run the integration tests, you will need the command as run, I mean apply. If you want to run the integration test, the command is command apply. So it will provision the new infrastructure, and you have the infrastructure in the for example in the cloud or another place. But different with unit test. Unit test itself will use command plan. Yeah, you only need to check the condition or just check the logical operation. Yeah, for example, you just want to check you have some concatenation for the string or the configuration or the number of CPU, etc. You can just check in unit steps. But different when you want to check after the provision, for example, the DNS name or another things that only can see the value after the infrastructure provision. So you will need the integration test. Well, same as software. So the software itself, if you want to test unit using the unit test, you just check the logic. Yeah, for example, sum A plus B, and then you want to check the result itself. But the integration test, visually, you will need to check how the operation do, and yeah, for example, you want to check after the connection with database. So why do we need testing the Terraform module? Well, the reason is, yeah, we want the customer happiness. Well, not only increasing your confidence. Well, I believe when you already test the software, you will more confident, right? But in this thing, yeah, open source Terraform modules will be used by many users. It's public. So I believe more users, yeah, for example, me, I will more trust with the open source modules if the Terraform modules itself well tested. So why we need to wait? I believe you need to try this Terraform test module. Yeah, the point is, yeah, we need the customer trust. Okay, I will bring you to the Terraform test website. Yeah, you can learn more about the Terraform test framework in here, in the documentation page. So they already explained about integration and unit testing, etc., etc. You can learn more about in here, but I will not share more about it. Okay, I will give you an example. The Terraform test. So this is my module. Yeah, I will not explain what is And yeah, this one quite complex, the resources and also the dependencies. But I will simplify these diagrams. So this diagram will be simplified like this. So I only have application load balancer, and it will direct the request to Elastic Container Service. So basically, you only have two resources. Yeah, but in Elastic Container Service itself have many resources, right? Yeah, for example, you have Fargate, and then service, and also the container itself to store the application. Yeah, yeah, this is also have some networking, but I won't explain it. So basically, the strategy is, yeah, we have two testing. The first one, the unit test, and the second one, integration test. Both of them, I will need the AWS account because I do not use mock for the unit test. Well, if you want to use the mock itself, it's okay. It's fine, and it's also recommended. But yeah, you only can do some mock tests with the Terraform 1.7. Well, the unit test itself, we will check the logical, but the integration test, we will validate the infrastructure itself. Yeah, as mentioned before, we will use command line for unit tests, and we will use command apply for integration tests. And yeah, I believe for HashiCorp Cloud Platform or HCP, only for private modules. So if you want to try to test privately, you can use the HCP, HashiCorp Cloud Platform. But if you think it's okay, you want to show the testing process, yeah, you can also use the CI/CD tools. If, for example, you want to use GitHub Action, and then you want to the customer or the user show how the test it works. Yeah, you can use the CI/CD tools. So I have both of them. So for the integration tests, actually I will test in HashiCorp Platform, but for the unit tests, I will test in CI/CD tools. Yeah, but basically you can choose to run both unit tests and integration tests in one tools. Yeah, to avoid some conflict when do integration tests, I will use integration tests in one platform. I will not run in the both platform. So this is just a little bit example. So this one command client, yeah, you can say this test as unit test because the command plan, and the test itself is just checking the network. So the network partition zone, is it correct using episode is 1? If not, yeah, it will give the error message. I will bring the example after this one. I will do some demo. Okay, I will do some demo, and then yeah, you can check my repository in here. So you can find my repository in here. I will show you a bit. this is my repository. You can find the example in here. And then I will try to demo a little bit. Okay, as I mentioned before, I use CI/CD tools and also HashiCorp, HCP, I mean. Okay, yeah, we can find it here. Yeah, this is example when I do some pull requests or a pull request. This one for unit tests. So my CI/CD tools will do some unit tests in here. So as you can see here, I do some unit tests in here, but different with the HCP. Yeah, we look in. Yeah, a little bit. Take long time. Yeah, in here you can, as you can see, I do some integration tests. I will view the test. So I do the integration test in here. So I do a separate test, the unit test in here, the CI/CD tools or GitHub Actions. But for the integration test, I will do in here. Okay. I will show you how the Terraform Test Framework works. Well, if you want to test the unit test in here, so it will pass because, yeah, it's already expected. But how about if you want to change? Yeah, for example, in here, I will change a bit about the configuration, I think. So I will change the memory. Actually, in the unit test have some testing about the memory and the CPU. Yeah, as you can see in here. I will break the testing. I will add the variables. Where is it? Okay. Oh, it's and the variable itself, CPU. So I will change the CPU. Maybe I change to 512, 512. Let's see if the Terraform unit test will break. Yeah, as you can see, after we change the configuration or we change the input, it will bring fail, right? Yeah, when you accidentally change the configuration, so you can find what's wrong with our configuration immediately. Yeah, this is just in the example. Okay, I will bring you some tips to do testing. Yeah, as mentioned before, you may use CI/CD tools, but basically, if you want to publish it as a public registry. So yeah, I suggest using CI/CD tools. Yeah, for example, you can use the GitHub Action if you use GitHub as the repository, or GitLab CI/CD. Yeah, it depends on your organization. But if you want to privately test the modules, yeah, you can use HashiCorp Cloud Platform. But as mentioned before, you need to ensure that your integration tests not in both platform or multiple platforms, because yeah, it might cause some problems or some conflicts. Okay, if you want to learn more about Terraform Test Framework, I suggest visiting this link, so you can learn more about Terraform test in here, about the testing itself, and also about the mock. Yeah, I didn't mention, or I didn't explain about the mock, but you can learn more about in here. And yeah, I also didn't mention about the registry. I mean, I didn't explain about the registry, so you can visit in here to learn more about the registry. And yeah, you also maybe want to explore more, so you can visit these two blogs, these two articles. So about testing HashiCorp Terraform module in here. So you can see some testing. You can check, you can find the unit tests, integration tests, and also end-to-end tests in here, in this blog or in this article. For the second article, yeah, you can learn about the mock. So you can learn about the mocking. So you do not need yeah, for example, AWS account to test. So you can use the mocking in here. Yeah, I suggest visiting these two articles. Okay, I think that's all for my session. Yeah, you can connect with me by Twitter at Bervianto, or you also connect with me in LinkedIn, Bervianto Pratama. I also have some GitHub account. I mean, an account, yeah, at Bervianto. I think that's all. Thank you for joining. And if you have any question or any suggestions, feel free to contact me. I hope you can learn more about the Terraform test and also Terraform module. Thank you, everyone.